Welcome. My name is Kemi, TONY-AKINWUNMI, and it's another episode of Before You Say I Do. So in this episode, we'll be looking at the title, Maturity. Yes, maturity. I know it's either you are single, you are in a relationship, you are about to wed, or maybe you are even married and you stumbled on this. But in this episode, we want to focus on maturity. So what exactly is maturity? Simply put, maturity is when a person has been fully developed in almost every area of life, when they don't do childish things anymore, when they have a sense of responsibility and a sense of independency. That's what we can call maturity. And everyone getting into marriage must know that there are different levels of maturity that is required so that your relationship can run smooth. You have to be mentally matured, you have to be emotionally matured, yes, physically matured if you are going to get married. And you also have to be matured in your integrity. Yes, those are very critical areas of maturity a man and a woman must attain before they get into marriage, because marriage is not for boys and marriage is not for girls. Marriage is for a matured man and a matured single lady. So, because once you get married, it is expected that you display some level of maturity. You don't behave like a child, you don't behave like a teenager. Marriage has its own duties, has its own, responsibilities. And a matured person understands the roles, a matured person understands the responsibility that they need to display when they get married. So, part of maturity means you are someone who can make your own decisions. We have had cases of people who are married and then they go back to their parents for every decision they have to make in their new family. And that is absolutely wrong. Should you go to your parents for advice? Yes, maybe once in a while. But you can't be married and then at every point you have to go to mommy or daddy before you can make a choice in your family, and your wife or your husband begins to wonder, did I marry a child or did I marry an adult? So that's the level of maturity. Ability to make decisions, ability to be independent, ability to think for yourself, to reason for yourself, and take objective choices for yourself, for your partner, for your children, and for your life in general. Mental maturity means that you are able to address issues objectively. You are able to address whatever comes your way with a sense of, oh, like something has happened, how do I get out of this? You don't break down, you don't find yourself going deep into those issues. You find someone to talk to, you find a way to resolve it, and then you move on. There would be conflict in relationship. I have said that many times during this series, because that is part of life and that is part of relationship. And maturity means that when there are issues, you don't go, you don't shut down on your partner. We have had people who are married and then their partner offends them, and for 1 week, 2 weeks, even a month, they don't want to communicate with that person. That's not maturity. That's being childish. No matter how angry you are, you still have to sit down, come to a round table, and discuss objectively with your partner and resolve your issues amicably. That is maturity. Maturity means you must display a level of courage every time, because marriage will not always come easy. There are lots of sweet memory in marriage, lots of beautiful time. If you are intentional about it, if you are deliberate about it, you will have those wonderful times with your partner. But will there be times where things will not go as you want? Yes, but you display courage. Courage doesn't mean you don't have fear, but it means despite of what is happening, I'm not going to break down. I'm not going to throw in the towel. I'm not going to walk away, right? Maturity means you don't walk away from your marriage because there are issues. You talk about it, you seek help, and then you move forward. Because also as a marriage counselor, we have seen people, their marriages are going through a tough time. The wife is seeking counseling and the husband has disagreed to counseling. He's not speaking with anyone. He's not sitting down to talk about the issue. He's not speaking with a counselor. He's not doing anything about the relationship. And so what do you expect? The marriage one day deteriorates and someone feels, I can't cope, I want to take a walk. So that is not maturity. You must be matured before you get into marriage. Some people will say, oh, I want to be matured financially. It's okay. Certainly you must have something you are doing and you must have a level of income. But money alone doesn't secure the marriage. oh, money alone doesn't make a marriage work. We have seen the rich who get divorced. We have seen multimillionaires who walk out of their marriages. So what happened with all the money that they have? Something was missing. And that's why I'm glad that you are listening to this, and then you can watch other episodes so that you can gather more knowledge and be well equipped before you transit into marriage. Marriage will test your level of patience, certainly. It will test your level of patience. If you think you're a patient woman or a patient man, oh, please wait till you get married. And that is why we talked about self-leadership, so that once you are better developed with yourself, your partner will not have a lot to worry about, because the both of you are coming into marriage working on yourself adequately, so there is going to be little or no much of conflict or friction or overbearing situations that may make the marriage very tough for the other person. So patience is also a virtue that everyone must develop, particularly if you are moving into marriage. You must be matured in that area to manage disagreement, to manage, So 2 or 3 ways to know if you are not matured enough for marriage. Number 1 is that you don't take feedbacks. Someone who is not mature doesn't take feedback. They resist criticism. They are very sensitive to correction. They are very, very sensitive to someone giving them, a feedback. So if you are someone like that, you may want to look inward. Feedback is part of life. Someone correcting you, complimenting you, and also rebuking you is part of life. So that's one way to know if you are really, if you need to really work on your level of maturity. Another one is if you always have an outburst of anger. You have this range of anger when something little has happened. It's something little that has happened, and then you blow it out of proportion. You are angry. You break things. You destroy properties. That is the level of immaturity being displayed there. So if any of these, resonate with you, you may want to take some counseling or deliberately begin to work on yourself to develop your capacity and strength, so that you can be more matured before you get into marriage. Because even if they do not show up now, there will be some things that will happen in your marriage that may want to test that area. So I hope that when the test comes, you will not fail. You'll be matured enough to handle it. I hope this helps you today again. See you at the next episode. God bless you. The future of the African child determines the future of Africa. What are we doing to secure the future?